Why are Japanese Pokemon cards so much better than English? Or are they? Well, we're gonna find out together. I have a few categories in mind, such as texture, print quality, and etc. And we're gonna try to answer the age-old question, is Japanese cards actually better than English? I do have to preface before we get into the video that this whole thing is based on subjective opinions. There's a lot of people who prefer English and prefer to actually be able to read the text, and some people who look at Pokemon cards for the texturing, print quality, and etc. There is no right or wrong answers. However, I am going to be stating a couple facts, such as who has the best print quality and etc. But if you like one or the other, that is completely fine. Number one, we're going to talk about the good old texture. You know, I just love feeling the juicy, thick, thin, shiny texture. Just like, oh, I do think it's pretty goofy what the English side of Pokemon did recently. They changed something completely. Now, that is the Trading Card Classics box. Now, if you guys don't know that, this was a huge deal a couple weeks ago, and it started a lot of controversy. Basically, Japan released this really high quality box for $250, and it was just a lot of remakes of past cards and past generations. Now, what the English did, not only did they raise the price from $250 to $400, they also completely changed the texturing of the cards. For example, the Japanese Charizard has a beautiful shiny border all around the card, and so does the rest of the cards as well. It really makes this card stand out. Now, they did some remakes in the past that are similar. However, I do think this is a really nice way to set apart from the rest. And the English, well, they decided, yeah, you like this? You actually really like this. You wanted this, right? Yeah, you're not gonna have it today. They took out everything. They just left the hollow foil on the picture itself, which I think is just hella goofy. Now you barely can distinguish it from the 25th anniversary Charizard, and honestly, I would prefer the 25th anniversary Charizard better, because at least it had some texture all over the card, while this just has some foil glittering on the picture. English cards try to remove exactly what makes the Japanese cards stand out. It's so freaking goofy. I don't know why they do this continuously every single time. It's kind of getting annoying. Outside this box itself, throughout history, Japan texturing has just overall been better. Now, of course, I hate to do it, but I gotta say, in my opinion, even though I feel like anyone who actually held a Japanese card would say it's better, I gotta say, in my opinion, just in case if I get freaking canceled again. I get canceled like every single video, it seems. But if you would compare the same exact card, 9 out of 10 people would say Japanese texturing is just far superior than the English one, especially if you compare it to the Scarlet and Violet era. There is no texturing at all on the full arts. Maybe there's a little bit of glitter and texturing on the special illustration, whereas the regular full arts at least look absolutely horrendous. It's just a freaking glossy card at this point. You might be able to see a little bit of texturing, but the moment you put your thumb on it, it's like it freaking smooths off. It smudges. That's how freaking smooth it is.
I don't feel nothing. Yeah, if it's smooth like butter.
Scarlet and Violet, in my opinion, English-wise, messed up heavily on the texturing. Japanese texturing has just always been better in my opinion, so I'm gonna give the texturing to Japan. Number 2 is print quality. Now, I don't really have to say anything else except, yeah, Japan clears this. Everybody knows Japan has better print quality than the US. It's like freaking saying the sky is blue and the grass is green. That's how freaking a straightforward answer this is. But what if I'm colorblind? Shut up. Okay, Japan has always had a better grasp on print quality and how it's done. Now, give or take the vintage side of Japan at the beginning didn't really know what to do with this self, so the print quality itself was just a lot worse. Obviously, times has changed as well. Freaking, we got phones, cell phones, so things are bound to change. However, the English side of it just got progressively worse. It didn't even get better. Like, what is this, bro? What is this? You really can't fix English print quality at all. Now, obviously, you could put up the argument that English has way more demand than Japanese. Well, I would kind of beg to differ, because Japan a couple months ago, it was the freaking talk of the town. Every single investor, bro, was going after Japanese cards instead of English. So I would wouldn't really say demand plays a big factor in the quality of its cards. Obviously it does, don't get me wrong, but I think the majority of it has to do with the actual factory, the workers, the quality checks as well. I think Japan just in general does it a lot better than America. So again, I would have to give the print quality to Japan. Again, this is all subjective. You're allowed to collect however you want to collect. I'm not going to put that against you. My taste has evolved too as time went on. I was a freaking English meat writer. I didn't even care about Japanese at all. But the moment I felt that Japanese card, I was like, holy crap. I'm turned on. Now, number 3 is the prices of products and cards. It was usually about the same for a while, and then the pandemic hit, and then freaking English cards completely went up. Obviously, Japanese cards also went up significantly in 2020, 2021. However, English cards were definitely the star of the show. Blame Logan Paul, bro. Blame Logan freaking Paul. And after that, English cards had a steady decline and leveled off for quite a while. And now recently, Japanese cards just freaking skyrocketed. Everyone was trying to get the Japanese lilies, freaking waifus, and at that certain period of time, English was just a lot more easier to find. However, now actually Japanese cards have been declining as well. Like take this for example, the Alola Friends Full Art Japanese. At one point it was selling for $16,200 and now it's sold recently for $3,120. Now this itself obviously brings up the question, is the Pokemon Japanese market crashing? I don't really know. That's a whole different separate topic that I'm not going to really touch too much. But one thing I can say for certain is that Japanese Pokemon card prices and products are actually finally affordable now. You could actually go out and get a booster box of the newest Japanese set for MSRP, which is freaking insane. If you told me that like a couple months ago, I thought you were on some sort of drugs. But although the Japanese market is slowly correcting itself, I still do think English in general is just far more easily accessible, and the prices are just across all the board just far cheaper. So I'm gonna have to give this one to English. Now we could also talk about how the company handles different situations as well. For example, the Pokemon International company has a habit of seeing a problem and they're like, no, we don't give a shit. That's pretty much how the Pokemon International is. They see an obvious problem. For example, I hate to bring this up, but the Van Gogh Pikachu situation, they try to barely fix it. Yeah, see that? Yeah, we could do that a little bit later. While the Japanese company, on the other hand, they're on top of that. If they see a certain product or something in high demand, they will instantly do made to order, so everyone is allowed to get one. And overall, I think the Japanese Pokemon company listens to the Pokemon community a lot more than Pokemon International. Obviously, there's something they can never get rid of, such as scalpers and such. No matter how much they print, scalpers will always be a thing if a thing is in high demand enough. However, I will 100% say that the Japanese Pokemon company do care a lot more and fix issues a lot more consistently than the Pokemon International. So with this category, I would definitely have to go with Japan. Now, there's just a lot of other categories as well. Obviously, English, I will always collect English. I still very much do enjoy it, but I feel Japan is just far superior in my opinion. Again, this is all down to subjective opinions and how people prefer to collect. So tell me your opinion down below. Do you think Japanese cards are better than English, or do you prefer English over Japanese? Anyway, that's all I have for you today. If you disagree with it, that's fantastic. If you don't, tell me down below. See you later, weebs.
でもそんなんじゃダメもうそんなんじゃほら心は進化するよ